Hi, my name is Nora. I'm a year 12 student, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the beauty of uncertainty. We're often expected to make life-changing decisions at a time when we're still figuring out who we even are. I remember being in year 9, and again, the summer before year 12, staring back at a subject choices form and feeling this strange pressure, like I was being asked to map out my whole future. It wasn't just about picking subjects, it was so much bigger than that. It was like I was meant to figure out who I was, what I'd become, and where I was going to go. But the truth was, I didn't have a clear destination. I wasn't even sure if the path I was on was the right one. All I had were a few things I liked and a whole lot of questions. What I did know was that I loved writing. Not because I had some grand plan, I'd just always been drawn towards. When I was younger, I even wanted to be an author. Not because of the grand plan, obviously, but because storytelling just felt natural. As I got older, that passion didn't disappear, but it did evolve. I found myself pulled towards subjects like sociology and psychology, not just for the contents I was learning, but because they challenged the way that I thought about the world. I realized that what I enjoyed was unpacking complex ideas and exploring new questions, even when there weren't clear answers. That very curiosity led me to a law firm internship, a decision that felt like a leap into the unknown at the time. I went into it thinking, I'll gain some work experience for my CV. What I didn't expect was how much of myself I'd see reflected in that world. Watching lawyers at work changed something for me. I started to see the profession in a completely different light. Not as rigid or rule-bound, but as deeply creative. Argument building wasn't just about being right. It was about being persuasive. It was about crafting a narrative with clarity and purpose. And in some strange way, it reminded me of writing. That became even clearer when I shadowed my first hearing. Sitting in that room watching a defendant present their case, I was struck by how intentional every word, every pause, every shift in tone was. It wasn't just facts being presented, it was a story being told. A carefully constructed argument designed to move, to convince, to win over. And I realized that language, when used powerfully, can be incredibly powerful. That was the moment things started to come together. Writing, critical thinking, curiosity, using my voice. It all began to connect in a way that felt honest and exciting. And I figured it out. I didn't figure out all of this despite the uncertainty. I figured it out because of it. There was no step-by-step plan, there was no perfect formula. What guided me was what sparked my interest, what made me want to ask more questions, and what made me feel most like myself. And here's what I've come to understand. Uncertainty isn't something to fear, it's something to work with. It gives you the room to grow. It gives you the space to try new things, and even the freedom to pivot when something no longer fits. We don't always need to have it all figured out to move forward. So if you're feeling uncertain, whether it's about subject choices, university decisions, or even bigger questions about the future, know that it doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're still exploring, and that's a powerful place to be. And if my younger self could tell you anything, it would be that it's only a good story if you can't predict the ending. So embrace it. A lack of certainty isn't the end, it's only the beginning. You don't have to know everything now, but you do have to stay open to new ideas, to the things that light you up, and to the possibility that the path will unfold as you walk it. Because sometimes not knowing exactly where you're going is how you end up where you're meant to be. Thank you.